In the past, doctors were guided by the smell from the patient, the smell of sweat, the smell of urine, the taste even of urine, and the smell of feces to determine the diagnosis. For example, a rubella patient smelled like freshly plucked feathers. A typhoid patient smelled like warm rye bread. This is how doctors determined in the 19th century what the patient is sick. There are 4 diseases that are very common in our society, and with the information I'm about to give you, you can make a preliminary diagnosis. Of course, you do not need to diagnose yourself, but nevertheless, you should think about it and contact, perhaps, a doctor and solve the issue of serious chronic diseases in the early stages. The first is diabetes mellitus. That's when a person begins to get diabetes, one of the signs. He begins to have such a metallic taste in the mouth, and in the exhaled air the smell of acetone. You can't confuse it with anything. And by the way, those people who go on the keto diet and completely remove all kinds of carbohydrates from their lives, exactly the same thing happens. The liver starts producing ketone bodies, which give such a specific odor in the exhaled air. Therefore, if you suddenly smell of acetone, then run to the doctor, to the therapist, who must prescribe tests for glycated hemoglobin and, of course, blood glucose levels on an empty stomach. The second is a rotten smell, or the smell of eggs, hydrogen sulfide. This indicates that you have problems with the intestines, with the gastrointestinal tract, and in general, you have a fairly high level of pathogen load. And this is where it's important to realize that sweat doesn't usually smell. It smells like the interaction between sweat and the bacteria that live on our skin, first of all. And secondly, it smells of those toxins that are removed with sweat. That is, we need to understand that sweat glands and sweat in general is one of the main systems of detoxification. Removal of toxins, toxic substances, decay products, waste products from our body. And when you have very sweaty armpits and you apply deodorant with 48-hour protection, what do? You're clogging the pores, the very glands through which those very toxins are excreted. The third odor is this kind of sour, or you might say, vinegar smell. What does that indicate? Either about a very serious disease such as tuberculosis. Most often it indicates that you have a trivial lack of vitamin D. Vitamin D helps the body absorb calcium and phosphorus, which are essential for bone growth. In addition to the building function, the vitamin has a protective function. It reduces the growth of cancer cells, helps the immune system to fight infections, reduces the severity of inflammation. Vitamin D is also involved in maintaining the normal functioning of the neuromuscular, endocrine, and immune systems. And the fourth, the most dangerous, the most terrible, is when a person begins to smell of rotten meat. The smell of rotten meat is an indication that a person is already seriously developing some kind of oncological disease, that is, cancer of something. In certain clinics, there are such dog services that sniff not only drugs and weapons, but can detect at super early stages of cancer in a person, because the person begins to smell specifically. So if you hear one of the above odors in you or your family, friends, acquaintances, advise them to see a doctor, and be sure to share this video with them. Be healthy. Thanks for watching. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to hit the like button and share it with your friends. Make sure to subscribe to the channel and click the notification bell so you never miss out on our latest health tips and tricks. Stay healthy and see you in the next video.